Just like that. Live.
Just like that. Just like that. Please. We are live on Facebook. Now, Adam, hold off, man. Let me just get pumped. Let me stand up, put my chair back and get pumped. This is Cruising with the Case Handler. So right now what I'm doing, I want everybody to know about this show. I want everybody to know that it's about personal injury. It's about immigration. Preach. I'm getting very animated right now.
Warm it up.
Every time I say something, you and Nelson got to say facts. This show is about personal injury.
Facts.
This show is about immigration.
Facts.
This show is also about Andrea Scher, who's trying to get on.
Fact.
All right. This show, people can get all their immigration questions answered on Facebook via 93.5 FM by them calling 844-774-3529.
Fact. Double facts.
Telling you, man. Ladies and gentlemen, right now, if you're watching us on Facebook, if you're listening to us on 93.5, we like an audience. We love an audience. But why do we love that audience? Because we know many people in the audience need help from the attorneys, whether it's personal injury, whether it's immigration. Guess what? They are a full-service law firm called Pollack, Isaac, and DeSico, easily referred to as PPID. So right now, what I'm asking every single person to do is to share it on your friend's timeline. Share it on pages that you're a part of and you manage. Share it in groups. Join some groups and put the link in the group. You know a lot of people need help. So right now, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I will introduce to you none other, ladies first, sorry, gentlemen, Andrea Scher. How are you doing today?
Good. How are you? Good morning.
It's always a pleasure to have you on the show. I'm always hanging out with these dudes. You know, it's of a lady on the show. So thank you so much for being here as an immigration attorney with the law firm Pollack, Isaac, and DeSico. I also have Nelson Madrid. We refer to him as the Maverick. Okay, that's my homeboy. All right, he handles a lot of situations out there with people who have had a little bit of a run-in with the law. And guess what? They still need immigration benefits. They pay their debt to society and they want to find out how they can stay here in the United States if they can. The man you go to is Nelson Madrid. The man you work with is Nelson Madrid. The attorney you go with is Nelson Madrid. We call him the Maverick. You can call him at 844-774-3529. Now let's switch it over to the man who the show is named after him. And Conrad is like, he's always hogging the time. That man happens to be
Conrad's got the, has got his name in the firm. I got my name on the show. It's only fair.
Okay, I'm going to hear a lot of noise from Nelson in a minute, but we'll talk about that later. What is my name going to be on? But anyway, Adam Handler, you are the most celebrated personal injury attorney on this station, in this hemisphere. Why?
It's because I really care about what I do and I'm really, really good at it. And my clients think that I'm an attorney that does something very, very different than the other attorneys out there. We treat our clients like family. We treat our clients like friends. I'm a third generation attorney. I've been fighting for the Caribbean community for almost 17 years now. And I stand by my reputation and I stand by my results. That's why.
That's it. Adam Handler is trying to sound modest and everything, but let me tell you something. God help, okay, those people out there who get into an accident and they were wrong, and then the other person hires Adam. Oh, God help them, because you know what? He's going for every penny that insurance company has, all right? He does not play around. So, ladies and gentlemen, you need an attorney when you get into an accident, you reach out to Adam Handler. They call him the case handler. I call him the shark. Why? He's not leaving a penny on the table. God forbid you get hurt in an accident. Now, the number for the firm, whether it's immigration or personal injury, happens to be, ladies and gentlemen, 844-PPID-LAW. That's 844-PPID-LAW. That's 844-774-3529. Now, the managing partner, let's welcome him, all right? Gets to show up late. Mr. Conrad Pollack, how are you doing today?
It's not like I overslept or something. I actually, you can see I'm in my office.
Here.
I am.
I see that.
I do work occasionally.
This is actually
attorneys.
This is actually very early for him, I must say.
That's right.
Well, how are you doing, Conrad?
Gang up on the old man. That's the story today, right? Gang up on the old man. I'm doing well. We actually, now I'm gonna leave this to Nelson to pick up, but we have a case that we're working on, and I was just on the phone with someone. serious matter, which I'll let Nelson elaborate a little bit, but there was, it's getting some publicity. There was an article in Newsday today about it, and serious matter. Nelson, you want to talk about it?
Yeah, absolutely. We presently represent someone who has a removal order, and he has several United States citizen children. He is married to a United States citizen. His wife filed a petition on his behalf. They had another attorney, and I don't know what happened. I mean, it appears that nothing actually happened for many years. As a result, he was eventually picked up by ICE, and we now represent him. You know, it's a very sad and unfortunate situation. All of his children, you know, again, as I mentioned previously, he has a daughter with cerebral palsy. All of his children, including the daughter with cerebral palsy, now have COVID.
Well, let's not forget the most important thing here as well. The guy's locked up in jail down in Louisiana right now. They're trying to get him out.
Right. And he's basically detained in Louisiana. They're trying to basically get him outside. They're trying to deport him, basically. And we've been fighting the case for some time. You know, we're still working on it. But, you know, this is the type of thing we do. These are the type of cases we handle.
The guy's been in the United States, I don't know, how much, 20 years is it?
Yeah, about 20 years. Yeah. And he's got obviously significant ties to the United States. As I said before, he's married to a citizen. He's got, I think, 3 United States citizen children. It's a very, very sympathetic case. An article came out yesterday in Newsday regarding this case. So again, this is the type of thing we do at PPID.
Yeah, it'll be posted to our website today, but we're trying to actually, the reason I'm late, I was talking to the general, Alan Kay. He's contacting various people in the government, Congress in particular, Schumer's office and so on. We're trying to get what's called a private bill, which is not an easy thing to do, but which basically would allow him to stay here, get him out and get him a green card. But big surprise coming, you know, the current administration, you know, they don't see it the same way. They say this guy is illegally here, and he was ordered deported a long time ago, 10 something years ago, 10, 11 years ago, and they want him out of here. They don't care that he's got all these kids here and he's been living here for over 20 years and he's been a good person. He's got a clean record, but he's illegal. You know, so they don't want to hear it.
When you say illegal, because you know,
that's
working with the Caribbean community for so many years, and immigrant community, you know, some people say, well, how is a human being illegal? In the context of the United States immigration law, can you explain what illegal is?
He has no status.
Good question.
He has no legal status. And if I could just add, actually, he was ordered deported because he filed a previous application with another attorney and was unsuccessful. As Conrad said, he's been here for over 20 years. And I just want to add, this gentleman has no criminal history.
I was just about to ask you
no criminal history, no criminal record. It's a very, very sympathetic case.
And when we're talking about illegal, typically, you know, and I don't mean to be offensive in any term. It's just, you know, a term of art that we just, you know, I've been doing this 30 something years. So it's just a term of art that I use. But illegal typically means the person came with a visa and overstayed. So he's in unlawful status now, or entered the country illegally, across the border or whatever, phony passport, who knows what, and is in unlawful status because of that. So when I say he's illegal, it's typically something like that.
You know what, guys, it's very sad. I spoke to a lady yesterday, and you know, we're speaking about, I mean, she was buying some products from one of our entities, and she's in California, and she said, hey, I love your products and all of that, and I'm so happy that I'm able to get them again. And I said, what do you mean by getting them again? She said, well, I was away for a year. And I said, why were you away? She said, well, you know, I was out of status, but I was married to someone. I said, so how did you get detained? She said she was disciplining her grandson, whatever that means. I didn't get into the details. She was disciplining her grandson, and evidently the cops got involved and she was arrested. Now, she was arrested and she was detained not because of disciplining her grandson, but she was arrested and detained because of her immigration situation. So I'm saying I hear these stories over and over and over and over. And it's one of the reasons why I love doing the show, to let people know that they need to choose their weapons carefully, because immigration is a minefield, regardless of who you are, where you are. As long as you're an immigrant, if you don't have legal status, as Nelson says, guess what? You need a good attorney. You need a good attorney. You need a good law firm. And that's the reason why I say to them, make sure you reach out to PPID. Make sure you have this number, 844-774-3529, 844-PPID-LAW. This is a lot more common than I thought, that people are getting arrested and being detained for a while in these places that I think you guys had this individual on a few weeks ago. He was telling you how horrible it was to be in those detention places. So I'm just thinking of a woman being in these places.
Well, unfortunately,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Is this me or you? Okay. Unfortunately, it's a very common tale. It's a very common tale. And here's a guy who, again, no criminal record, has been in the country for over 20 years. He's got a family here, sick family, right? And yes, he made an application for relief some 10 years ago with another law firm. That didn't go well. I don't remember offhand whether it was the lawyer's fault or what. The lawyer didn't do what he was supposed to do. Who knows? Whether that's the case or not in this case, I don't know. That's also a very common tale, because pretty much at different times over the last 35 years that I've been practicing, people all of a sudden somebody's an immigration lawyer. Yesterday he was doing personal injury. Today he's doing immigration. That's a very common tale as well. And unfortunately, immigrants get taken advantage of in that situation way, way too often. Now, but my overriding point here, this is a guy who, under previous administrations, would not be in jail. If this were 4 years ago, 5 years ago, what would have happened is his case would have probably been reopened, and we'd be applying for him to get his green card, and he'd be home with his family right now for the holidays, instead of languishing in some hole down in Louisiana, and while his kids, one of the youngest kid is very sick, and good news, there's a light at the end of this tunnel, hopefully, with the Trump administration leaving and the Biden administration coming in. We're very optimistic and hopeful that the priorities of the new administration are going to change, are going to revert to what they used to be, and such that a guy like this, who's not a criminal, who's been working to support his family, and the only thing he's done wrong was overstay his visa here, he will have some sort of relief. And in fact, we're hoping that we can keep this thing going long enough so that when the Biden administration comes in, that we'll actually get some rational, understanding eyes on our case, such that we get this guy out if we don't get him out sooner.
And just to add to that, actually, this gentleman was also under an order of supervision. So he was checking in every time he was supposed to check in. Again, unfortunately, he hired an attorney. He had a false sense of confidence that the attorney was working on the case and, making sure everything was being taken care of. One day he went to check in and he basically never checked out. And that's how we got involved. The family then came to us and basically said, we've had this attorney, for several years. We were under the impression he was working on the case and taking care of my husband's immigration matter. Obviously that's not the case. My husband is detained.
When you talk about an order of supervision, Nelson, order of supervision is like, some guy who's a criminal or alleged criminal who's out on parole or probation. He checks in with his parole or his probation officer once a month or whatever it is. Or an order of supervision is the immigration equivalent of that. So this guy, whatever period of time it was, I don't remember, every month, every 6 months, whatever, he would check in at immigration to show them that he's here, that he's doing the right thing, that he's working and so on, that he's walking a straight line. And one day he showed up, as he always had in the past, and unfortunately he didn't get home that night, and instead he ended up in jail down in Louisiana. All right, that's the case. That is the case here.
And let's talk about detention for a second, because it's really, really important for people to know and understand, as our client who came on the show spoke about as well. when you're detained, you don't know how long you will be at that facility for. So, you know, this gentleman was in New Jersey for 24 to 48 hours, and then he just got moved. So we got a call from the family saying he's being moved. We don't know where he's being moved. Can you tell us? It's hard. It's hard because obviously they don't want to share information for security concerns, for security reasons. But they very easily and very quickly move people around. You know, so you're here today, gone tomorrow, someplace else, you know, and that also happened with the case where, again, the client came on the show and spoke about his case. We originally filed a habeas in New Jersey because he was detained in New Jersey. They moved him to Buffalo, and we had to file another habeas in the Northern District because now it had changed. So, you know, it's tough. These are obviously very difficult cases, and obviously time is of the essence in most of these cases.
Let me give out the phone number, and then we come back and I want you guys to tell me what an habeas is. By the way, folks, the phone number is 844-774-3529. That's 844-774-3529. Every one of you out there looking for answers to your immigration question, you will be able to get a free phone consultation for a couple of minutes, and then you hire the attorneys. The number to call is 844-774-3529. That's 844-774-3529. Tuning in, of course, happens to be you. And this show is called Cruising with a Case Handler, show on immigration and personal injury. So we're just going to ask that question and we'll flip it to personal injury. So what's this habeas? What do you call it, guys?
Well, it's the writ of habeas corpus is what it's called. It's based on English common law. And so it goes way back. I think it goes back to King John and, you know, the 12th or 13th century or something like that. Anyway, writ of habeas corpus is passed on from English common law to the United States. And basically it literally means produce the body. So you go to federal court, to a federal judge, and you say, Your Honor, we want a writ of habeas corpus. And the judge says, okay, to immigration, produce the body. Bring this guy to court, present him. So that's basically what a writ of habeas corpus is. So, and that's what Nelson was referring to.
Well, a writ is basically when someone has been detained for an extended period of time, for a prolonged period of time.
Right.
So you can't detain someone indefinitely for 2 years. You know, at some point, yes, produce the body. You know, at some point, you know, obviously, again, you know, look at the merits of his case. You know, he's got a great case. He's prima facie eligible for relief. You know, he had a bad lawyer that previously represented him. He was prejudiced by the shortcomings of his prior attorney. You know, so, you know, and again, you typically file a habeas in a situation where a client has been detained for an extensive period of time. You know, what's extensive? You know, that's kind of gray, but 6 months is not considered extensive. You know, a year and a half, pushing 2 years, that's a year. That could be extensive.
Got you. Thank you so much. Once again, folks, we're here speaking on immigration. The show is called Cruising with a Case Handler, a show on immigration and, yes, personal injury. We're getting to that right now, but do remember the phone number to call is 844-774-3529. Let me give it out a couple more times. Remember to call that number, set up your appointment, ladies and gentlemen, schedule an appointment with one of the attorneys. 844-774-3529. That's 844-774-3529. Adam, 60 seconds. Let me ask Andrea, one of the attorneys on the show, a quick question. I received an approved RFE on November the 25th. Wanted to know the next step in the process. Please, a father filing for a married son. Thanks in advance.
They received an approved RFE?
Yeah.
But did they approve the case, or that's a little vague?
It sounds like he got an RFE and he responded and he
and
was approved. That's what it sounds like.
The case was approved? Because I don't know that they approve RFEs. Like,
yeah, I think, again,
yeah.
I think he got an RFE, he responded, and the case was approved.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like.
so if it's a petition from father and son, maybe if the son's older, then it might take a few years because it's not a immediate relative. But I don't know, maybe they should call so we can give them more information.
I'd advise them to call 844-774-3529. Thank you so much, Andrea. Thank you so much, Conrad. Thank you so much, Nelson. Let's jump over to the case handler, the man who's got the wheel right now, Adam Handler, the shark, I call him. Wagwan.
Wagwan King, good morning to you. A couple things we got to get out of the way first. We got to remind everybody that we give 100% free phone consultations for immigration, personal injury, any kind of case you got. The phone call is free. The advice is free. You got nothing to lose, everything to gain. All right. So let's make sure we have that out.
Regardless of their status.
Regardless, of course, well, of course, with immigration, regardless of your status, and personal injury, regardless of your status. Doesn't matter who you are, where you're from, what you're doing here, whether you're from Mexico or the moon. If you get hurt in New York, you're entitled to money under the law. We'll help you do that. I've been doing it for almost 17 years. That's easy. That's easy. The harder questions are, Squeeze, first of all, are you down with PPID?
Come on, Adam. You know me. I'm down with PPID.
Just want to make sure we got that out of the way. Also, Andrea, what day of the week is it?
Tuesday.
It's
an
Tuesday.
important day.
And Nelson, what happens on Tuesday?
Testimonial Tuesday.
Testimonial Tuesday. And what's Testimonial Tuesday, Squeeze?
Testimonial Tuesday is where you actually demonstrate what you have done in helping a client of yours where a settlement is concerned.
That's
It's also
right.
December 1st.
It
So
is December 1st, the last month of 2020.
finally, we got here. We made it.
Yes. And the month of my birthday as well. So that's exciting.
Yeah.
Capricorn's in the house here. Don't take our word for it. Don't take Squeeze's word for it. Don't take the word of the other DJs later on in the day that have been endorsing me for nearly 2 decades word for it. Take the word for it, word of the people that have come before you, people that have woken up in the morning never expecting that they'd get into an accident, never expecting they get hurt on that construction site or get in a car accident or have a slip and fall on the street. Accidents happen when you least expect it. We've helped thousands of people obtain over $125 million. I have a very special announcement on that total because I've been doing some calculations lately, Squeeze. I think we're almost closer to 130 million by now.
Wow.
But we'll talk about that in a little bit. Let's get to one quick story and then we'll go back to immigration. If I can share my screen here. Yes, I can. Wonderful. Love it. Ladies and gentlemen, listening on 93.5 FM. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. But if you can go one step forward and check us out on Instagram, check us out on Facebook, we would be so grateful because you really will be connected to our practice by way of social media. Check out the Case Handler on Facebook and Instagram. Check out PPID on Facebook and Instagram. You'll see exactly what we're talking about right now. And Squeeze, you see these smiling faces.
I see those smiling faces of all
these big settlements. Well, let's go to the latest and the greatest. Speaking of latest and greatest, my associate Matthew Goodstein, this is one of the cases that he handled and got a monster settlement for. Super proud of him. Let's check it out. Derrick from the Bronx, your turf, Squeeze.
Yeah, that's my turf, man.
Boogie down Bronx.
Yes.
Derrick, $94,000. You see the social distancing photograph with the big check, and if you can just read that quote for me, Squeeze.
Okay, Matthew was behind me every step of the way. I did what I was supposed to do to take care of my injuries. Matt fought for me like family, and we got through it together. $95,000 in settlement for this brother, Matthew. This is great.
Absolutely. And he's driving on Owenville Avenue in the Bronx near Britton Street, and another car just smashed right into him. Look at the damage to the side of his vehicle right now.
Yeah, that's serious right there, man.
Absolutely.
Literally got T-boned there.
He literally got T-boned and obviously never expected to get into an accident, never expected, to have injuries, but he's been listening to us on the radio for years. I mean, read this, Squeeze, for me if you don't.
It says here, Derrick heard the Case Handler team on 93.5 FM radio and saved our number. Our team jumped into action and we successfully recovered $95,000 from the defendant's insurance company, plus his lost wages. Matthew is a good attorney and good guy, he boasted. I'm going to recommend him all the time, he said. Powerful statement right there.
Absolutely. And, there's something that I should mention about the lost wages. We don't really include that because, that's kind of like a given when you come to us. But ladies and gentlemen, if you're hurt on the job, right, or you're hurt in an accident and you need our help, not only getting you compensation for your injuries, but compensation for your time out of work, we do not take a fee on that. I feel very, very strongly about it. I've actually never officially announced this over the radio, but we've been doing it my entire career. We do not take money. We do not earn a fee on the wages that we recoup for you. That is your money. That is how you feed your family. That is how you pay your bills. And it's our absolute pleasure to do it. I've seen law firms, take a third, 20, 10% to do that. Maybe even charge the client $1,500 to process the medical claim and the wage claim. We don't do it at all. I feel it's my obligation as your attorney to fight and make sure that you can survive during the course of the case. Of course, at the end of the case, if we earn you money for your pain and suffering, we earn our fee. But the wages, that is your money. That is your family's money. And we're happy to go 100% to you. And that's just something we feel very, very strongly about.
Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you make that phone call. Once again, I will say this, listening to me on 93.5 FM, it's you. I'm speaking like I'm Yoda. The case handler is the man, hands down. And I need to say this, and I will always be saying it. There are quite a few attorneys on this station. Nothing wrong with that. Are they bad attorneys? No, they're okay. But you want someone who has proven themselves over and over and over, especially to the people who listens to this radio station, watch us on Facebook. That man consistently, Adam Handler, has done it for 15 solid years. He was with another firm before, and now he's with a better firm, in my opinion. All right? And what he loves is truly, genuinely helping people. He treats them like family. That's what it's all about. And not someone who is going to treat you like a number and take anything that an insurance company throws at you. He's not going to do that. As a matter of fact, he will research and find out the maximum amount that the insurance policy has on the other vehicle. That's what he's all about. And he wants all of it. And he's going for all of it. So ladies and gentlemen, if you get hurt in New Jersey, if you get hurt in New York, you need to have this number in your phone. The number is 844-774-3529. I am David Squeezaniki. I've been on this station since 1996. I have the longest running immigration show in the entire nation. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the man who has been here consistently and probably has the longest running personal injury show. Well, no, he definitely has the longest running personal injury show on this station. Is Adam Handler. The firm is PPID. Call them 844-774-3529. That's 844-PPID-LAW. Make no mistake. You need Adam Handler, ladies and gentlemen. That's it. You need him. Construction accidents. Very, very important that you stick with him. All right. Medical malpractice, slip and fall, and obviously automobile accidents. Make the call. Once again, the number is 844-774-3529. We're going to the top of the hour. I would say switch over now to the case handler page, or David Squeezaniki's page, or the firm's page, PPID Law. 844-774-3529. 93.5 FM listeners, thank you so much for tuning in. Let's switch to Facebook and get some immigration questions answered now. 844-774-3529.
It's 10 o'clock.
All right, there we go. On point.
You're on fire today. You're on fire.
Hey, I'm just pumped, man. Got up and I'm pumped. All right, so let's get to some questions here.
Squeeze, before you get to questions, we brought Andrea on this morning because she has some important information to talk
great.
about. Some updates on some stuff that's going on. So before now that Adam has finished his spiel, and let's get the young lady on to talk about what she wants to talk about.
Okay, Andrea, the floor is all yours.
So, as you know, there's been a lot of changes to the asylum laws. A lot of these changes would basically preclude people from even applying for asylum or being eligible for asylum. One of these rules was proposed and was set to go into effect on October, and it would add about 7 additional mandatory bars to be for eligibility for asylum. It expands the list of crimes that disqualify people from asylum. So for example, Squeeze, you were saying that there was a lady that was charged with child abuse or neglect with her grandson. So now putting her as an example, if she were to be charged with, not convicted, just charged with child abuse or child neglect, then she would be completely precluded from applying for asylum.
Andrew, what happens if that person is charged and then she's found not guilty, or the charges are dropped, or then what?
So the way the proposed rule is framed makes us think that even if if no conviction resulted, just the fact that you were charged can preclude you from asylum. Now, I don't know how. Well, the good news is that the rule was stopped. It's temporarily stopped in the courts. So because it's arbitrary and it's unconstitutional, so we don't think it's going to go forward and become effective. But if it were, I don't know how they're going to apply it. It's too broad to say, oh, you were charged with it, but you weren't convicted, but we're still going to preclude you from asylum. So hopefully it will be undone in the courts, but we don't know yet. The good news is that it has been stopped in the meantime, and the judges are going to listen to more arguments on December 9th.
Okay. All right. Wow. Thanks for that update. Always good to have you on, Andrea, with updates and what's going on where immigration is concerned right here on the show, Cruising with the Case Handler. Thank you so much for being what it is that you are and doing what it is that you do at PPID. 844-774-3529. That's 844-774-3529. Reach out to the firm, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, let's get to the...
I'm sorry, quick question. Andrea, are immigration courts in New York City open?
No, they are still closed. We just got a notification from the courts yesterday that they remain closed through December 18th. So we expect that they will continue to be closed until at least next year, which is crazy because cases from March till now have been postponed. So when we go back, the courts are going to be swamped. And
is this just in New York?
New York City, yes, all the courts in New York City are closed for non-detained. Newark is open and Connecticut is open, but they are allowing for telephonic appearances without having to submit motions, because a lot of those courts have cases from New York, or lawyers from New York. So I guess that's to help traveling and COVID situations. But yes, they remain closed.
Right. Once again,
folks, do we know, are any other courts in the United States closed besides New York? Do we know?
I think so. We get notifications every day, and they're kind of crazy. We got one from San Francisco today that said, due to a COVID exposure on the 8th and 9th floor, the court is temporarily closed. And we keep getting those almost every day. So the courts that are open keep closing again and again because of COVID and because of the amount of spread that courts generally bring.
So then, hypothetical, I'm a guy from Jamaica, and I have a deportation hearing scheduled for the middle of January, and my lawyer's AWOL, or he's a moron, or I'm about to fire him or whatever. What do I do?
So you need to call another lawyer.
Well, obviously we know he needs to call PPID, obviously, but
yes.
Besides that.
We need to check with the courts. There's ways to check to see if the court is open. If you're high risk for COVID complications, then you can try to postpone the court case. If your lawyer dropped the ball, you can try to again postpone the court case until you can prepare for it. But definitely call PPID so we can help you.
Good answer.
Okay. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, right here, of course, Cruising with a Case Handler. All right, let's get to the questions. You guys ready now? All right, I think everybody's ready. All right, let's get the questions to the attorneys. All right, case F4, the principal applicant is my dad. He's a green card holder. I am, okay, sorry about that.
Kind of beeping and chiming.
Yeah, I know.
Sound effects day.
Too much technology. Case F4, the principal applicant is my dad. He's a green card holder. I am followed to join. The petitioner of the case is my uncle. I want to ask that who will be, I'm reading verbatim once again. I want to ask that, who will be my case petitioner now?
Whoa,
My
whoa,
dad or-
whoa. Say that, start again? That doesn't, his father is
I-
therefore an applicant, but his father's got a green card.
It says here, case F4, the principal applicant is my dad. He is a green card holder.
So
I
how
am,
is he- how is he
I am,
gonna-
I am followed to join, whatever that means.
Yeah.
The petition of the case is my uncle. I want to ask, who will be my case petitioner now? My dad or still my uncle? Furthermore, how can I calculate my CSPA?
All right, I get it.
age?
Basically, his uncle is a citizen. His uncle applied for his dad. His dad was approved. That's a fourth preference case. It took him 15 years or whatever, depending on what country they're from. And this person who's asking the question is or was the accompanying son, accompanying child with his dad, who the dad got approved, got his green card. And now this person is following to join, which is basically accompanying after the fact, after his father was approved. That's what following to join is. Question is, he's 21 years old apparently, or he's over 21, and he's asking about the CSPA, which if it covers him beneficially, would allow him to follow to join. I can't answer the question as to whether he's qualified without knowing more details. And I don't think we have enough time here on the show to answer that question. So I would suggest you call our office and we could work it out that way. Bottom line is though, assuming you do qualify under the CSPA, your uncle remains the petitioner. If you do not qualify under the CSPA, if you're already over 21 according to the CSPA, then your dad is going to have to submit a new petition for you and under the F2B category, assuming you're not married. And then you're going to wait another 10 years or so to get your green card.
Gotcha. All right. Here's a quick one right here. I got my GC with a mistake on my date of birth. I filed an I-90 to fix it. They're now asking me for my green card, which contains the error. But I already sent it.
Well, the mistake he made was doing this himself.
Just about to say that. I
You know,
was just about to say that.
I would suggest give us a call and we could help you to fix it. But, you know, damage is done.
Yeah.
How many, what, can you give a percentage of calls that we take a day or clients that we retain that have done it themselves and failed? Is that a decent amount of our business, people that have tried it on their own and failed? Or if they tried it on their own, failed, and they're no longer in this country, so they can't hire us anyway.
What do you think, Nelson?
I'd say about 70 to 80% of the people who called us have either tried to do it on their own or have had a friend of a friend of a friend who owns a travel agency or, you know, is a tax preparer.
Or the lady around the corner on Gunner Road or down in Eastern
Right,
Park.
underneath the train station next to the newspaper stand. I'd say 70 to 80% of the people who call in are actually people who have tried to do it on their own or have hired these other people to do their case. You know, they've hit a wall and now they don't know what to do.
You know, I was talking to our firm's insurance broker the other day, and I don't know, the topic, we were talking about malpractice insurance, and he quoted to me an interesting fact. He said, you know, immigration lawyers as a whole, they are the attorneys least likely to take out malpractice insurance. And I said, really? That's a really interesting thing. I said, why is that? He said, typically because immigration lawyers, if they screw up their cases, their clients aren't around in the United States to complain and sue them. I mean,
wow.
And that's why immigration lawyers typically don't need malpractice insurance. Of course, we have malpractice insurance, although we don't really need it. I thought that was kind of interesting that immigration lawyers don't. That's the reason they don't typically take out malpractice, or I should say, maybe the lower level of immigration lawyers don't take out malpractice insurance because when they screw up a case, their client's usually deported, so it's difficult for them to sue from Ecuador or Chile or wherever.
And that's actually a very good point that maybe we should stress more is that, we're not just a one-man operation in a rented space behind a donut shop. We are a full service, fully functioning, powerful law firm. And if I
Wait, wait. What do you mean? What's wrong with being behind a donut shop? I mean, come on. Nelson would love that.
A pizza shop, whatever it is, all things being equal, I'd rather, if I was a client, go with a firm that I know has the resources and the financial backing to really push my case forward, and especially in personal injury. Because remember, personal injury cases, the lawyers pay all the fees up front, right? Immigration, we take the fees initially, or we put you on a payment plan. But for personal injury cases, I all the filing fees are paid by the lawyer. All the experts, the medical records, the trial fees, everything is paid by the lawyer and then taken out at the end of the case. And I've had clients say to me that, oh, I have to find another lawyer. Well, why? Well, my lawyer said this case is going to be too expensive for them to take to trial. That's never an issue here at PPID. I've been here nearly 6 years. Conrad has never once said to me, don't write that check. Don't put that expense in, because he knows that if I'm asking for big money on a case, then, it's going to yield a big result for the client and, of course, for the firm. So, you want to go with a powerful law firm. As Squeezes, you always say, pick your weapons very carefully. Go with people that have the muscle, the reputation, and the authority to push your case through to a successful
And
result.
from an immigration perspective, what about the client who hires the lawyer, and he's got his interview at immigration tomorrow, and he shows up at his interview and there's no lawyer? Nelson, you ever hear that situation?
Absolutely. But listen, I got a very good story regarding
Rihanna, I swear to you, I had a lawyer, but I don't know where he is.
regarding unscrupulous attorneys. Listen to this, David. This is a recent case that came to our firm, who we now represent. This client had an interview with immigration. Her attorney had her go by herself. She had to go back for a copy of the decision. She was given a notice to appear. A notice to appear did not have a hearing date, time, or place. The attorney was waiting to be notified. It doesn't work that way. The attorney had only been practicing for 2 years. Long story short, the client doesn't show up to court when she's supposed to. Client is ordered deported. The attorney prepares an affidavit. Adam, you're going to like this. The attorney prepares an affidavit, has the client sign, where the client basically says, I never informed my attorney or gave my attorney a copy of the documents. So the client is taking responsibility for her attorney's shortcomings.
Bro. Yeah.
She now has a deportation order, and we're trying to get that reopened because her attorney had only been practicing for 2 years, didn't understand the process, didn't know the way this was supposed to work, and then threw his client under the bus.
Cop out. Where I come from, that's a cop out.
Unbelievable.
I want to say thanks to all of you for making this show a great show and a phenomenal show in helping out thousands of people. We do appreciate what it is that you attorneys have done at PPID, Pollack, Isaac, and Nasico. Ladies and gentlemen, do give them a call. They are a full-service law firm, yes on personal injury, yes on immigration. Their number is 844-774-3529. Private results do not guarantee a similar outcome. However, you will need attorneys, and you need to go to PPID. 844-774-3529. Call now, get a free phone consultation with an attorney, schedule it right now, and they will talk to you for a few minutes, and then you will choose to hire them. 844-774-3529. Andrea and gentlemen, thank you so much for doing the show. We'll speak again very soon.